Sometimes the only thing standing between success or failure is timing. Because the truth is, you could be doing all the right things, but if your timing is wrong, it can really feel like swimming against the current. And we don't want that. Okay. So that's why we are going to talk about this today. So the problem is, like I said, you can be taking action, you're taking all the right action, you're making all the big moves, so much sweat and tears, but they just don't land. I know this is so frustrating. This is the most frustrating thing that can happen, right? Or you feel like you actually pushing instead of going with the flow. That is another frustrating thing. And a lot of time I noticed that a lot of us we end up second guessing because it's just like after you've had so many failures, it's only normal to just second guess yourself and you feel like you get results sometimes, but they're so inconsistent. So what is the missing piece between all of these things I just, mentioned? It's literally astrological timing. And we are talking about this today. So the beautiful thing about your birth chart, everyone that knows me knows that I'm totally obsessed with birth charts because I'm just like, this is like magical tool. And then why aren't more people using them, right? So your birth chart literally reveals timing cycles. It's like this cosmic, this super magical clock that literally gives you so many clues about when to do things, when not to do things. For example, like transit, progressions, and returns can show you things like when to initiate in a project, when to wait, when to pause, when is that the best time to start a business. You know what I mean? When to pivot or complete a cycle. For example, like something that a lot of us, many people, even if they don't know much about astrology, would notice is that a lot of times eclipse season are just, they're not the right time for you to maybe sign a new business deal. So all of these things, especially that we've had crazy eclipse recently. So let me know, leave a comment down below if you can relate to this. In fact, these aren't necessarily rules per se, but they're energetic weather forecasts. And once you start aligning your life with them, it's just your life is so much easier, right? Like, why would you want to like go against the current when you can just make your life easier, smoother, and just learn to flow instead? And the power of aligned decision making is that making supportive decision can really amplify your success. Again, you are working with the flow, you're not constantly like butting heads to make things happen. And we also need to learn when to back off, when to take a break, because acting during like tension period, for example, like if you have like your Mars stuck that is squaring your Saturn, listen, now might be a time for you to take a little vacation or just a staycation and just not do anything and just pause. Like the second I see Mars and Saturn, I'm not doing anything. That's it. That's my cue. Take a break. So because once you start pushing, in these directions and just being stubborn, that's often when we experience things like burnout, right? Or unnecessary burdens, unnecessary lessons. I feel like a lot of those like loops that we're stuck in, a lot of those life lessons that we go through is, I'm pretty sure, like, yes, of course life will always have lessons, but I keep wondering, I feel like so many of these lessons are because we're just not paying attention. We're just stubborn. We're just going against the flow of life, of the universe, of time. And again, it's not about fear, it's just about strategy. It's about strategy. For example, like if you listening to the weather forecast and they tell you it's running, I mean it's raining, it's running. They tell you it's raining, then you will adjust your life accordingly. Or let's say you starting a new garden. Now, you're not gonna like start the new garden in the middle of January. Let's say you're in Canada in the middle of January, right? In Quebec, something where you know there's winter, you know there's snow. You're not gonna decide to start your garden right there when there's 40 centimeters of snow outside. You know what I mean? You start the garden in summer. So these are all the things, or perhaps spring, So these are all those things that this I see astrology in the same way. There are energetic, forecasts, and then we become aware of them so we can be in flow much more. That is the point. So there is so much peace that comes with timing awareness. No more guessing, and it also kind of give your life a nice smooth guidance. We have enough things that we're worried about, bills, worries and stuff like that, like adulting things and all of these responsibilities that we have, for like living in the modern world in this capitalistic system. So I find like whatever help we can get, we need to hop on that. You know what I mean? And just like if you can have something like a structure that can just make your life easier, why not? Take advantage of that. And also, you feel like more in trust with your process and going with the flow of nature. And then you get to work with the universe. This is my favorite. You start learning to work with the universe instead of against it. Same way as, like if you're a woman watching this, and then you get like you know how you get like your period every month, or like you just know that your cycle changes, and it's just you can't expect to do the same thing when you're on a heavy day, or when you like, it's the same way. We kind of have to learn to understand that there are greater forces out there, and learn to kind of like respect them a little bit more and be humble, because I feel like a lot of time we get lost and in our ego, because we're thinking, oh well, we are at the center of the universe, and if I want to get this, then I'm gonna get it done. Well, it's nice to get humbled from time to time. So, anyways, I don't want to digress. The point is, astrological timing, isn't about controlling your life. It's literally about cooperating with the universe. And your birth chart is a divine clock personalized for you. You know what I mean? So it really helps you sync with your soul's right time and events and everything. It's so beautiful once you start moving in synchronicities with these timings and respect them, right? So in point, what I want to say is a timing based astrological reading can show you many things. It can show you like when to launch, like I said before, quit, pivot, when to rest, reflect, push forward, like when the energy is very, very good for you to start a new business, how to align your life decisions with what is happening with your highest flow, your highest energy, and the energies that are available in the around you at that time. So this is why I think they are so, so important. I leave all the links down below. If this is calling to your soul, definitely don't hesitate. But in the next video, I will talk to you about the most this is so such an important video, so definitely don't miss that out, because we are going to talk about the most overlooked keys in your birth chart and why you don't want to ignore them, because they can have a massive impact on your life. So I will see you in that next video.